Some of you might know him as A-Mob, others might know him as Alec Mobley, the junior Cougar legend, the fan favorite. Episode 18 of the What's Cooking podcast, we sit down with Alec and we talk about a lot of different things. NFL, childhood, we are locked and loaded. Here we go. What's cooking, everybody? Thanks for joining us. Today I'm speaking with a man who was in the same high school class as my brother. I used to watch him play junior Cougar basketball all the time growing up. He happens to be a huge fan of my rival NFL team, the Kansas City Chiefs. Ladies and gentlemen, Alec Mobley. What's new with you, Alec? Man, how you doing? How's life going?
First of all, thank you, Brandon, for having me.
Of course.
Good way to connect, and sorry for pushing it off. But we're here. We made it. And, no, what a coincidence. Chiefs-Chargers, the same day we talk. And
that's right.
Looking forward to it. And those games always go down to the wire. No matter what the record is, it always goes down to the wire. But thanks for having me again. My first ever podcast. So hopefully,
let's go.
Hopefully don't screw it up.
No, you're going to be great, man. And that actually just leads me right into my next point, is that Chargers-Chiefs is tonight. And it never really matters how the season has been going up to this point. It never really matters the record between these teams. It reminds me of Iowa versus Iowa State a little bit, because like everybody gets so hyped up for it and it's always close. It seems like no matter what. So it's gonna be great tonight. But we'll get into more of Chargers Chiefs a little later. First, we're gonna take it off from the top here. We're gonna go chronological as we like to do. The reason I know that you exist is because back in the day, my brother, and as I said, he's the same age as you, so you guys played together on a junior Cougar basketball team. I got to have the great pleasure of watching you play with him a bunch of years. My parents would bring me to all the games and tournaments and stuff, and I'm just curious, what do you remember most about playing on those junior Cougar teams, if that's like some of your favorite coaches or teammates or memories? What kind of stands out for you?
Yeah, so junior Cougar, man, that was a long time ago. But
Yeah.
no, junior Cougar basketball was it was excellent. You know, I made a lot of friendships and long-lasting friendships, and just being able to go and travel to different Iowa places, little small-town Iowa, even going to different states, just playing basketball with some of your closest friends. And I think my favorite part about playing junior Cougar basketball is just developing those long-lasting friendships.
Let's go, yeah.
And I think without it, I don't think I would have as many friends as I do now, but yeah, just being able, because I assume you played junior Cougar basketball a little bit, and so I think a lot of the people that I played basketball with, I went to the same elementary school, middle school, high school with. So, and even today, I see a lot of them around town, and a lot of them I hang out with to this day. So, just I think my favorite part about junior Cougar basketball was just having those long-lasting friendships. So
that's a great answer, yeah. So when you think about some of the teammates you played with, I think I remember the first year was like you had Noah Crumbaugh's dad was your coach, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
then it was my dad was the
Yep.
assistant at
Yep.
that time. So do you have like specific memories of like different coaches and like how you learned from different coaches, or what kind of rings a bell as far as some of the surrounding players and coaches that you had?
yeah, like you said, we had a lot of different coaches during junior Cougar basketball.
Yeah.
One of your dad being assistant, and then Noah, legend, shout out Noah.
Yes.
No, I think a lot of it. I think for your dad and Noah, I think we grew up with you guys, so they knew a lot about us, and they knew how to push our buttons a little bit and how to get us on track, because we were so young and we just would just screw around and just be young teenagers. And so, but no, I think the overall important part was just being able to handle coaching from just being a young person, and seeing how different coaching styles work. And I think my last time I was on junior Cougar basketball, I think I had a young coach, so he didn't really know us as much.
Okay.
I think he played, his name was Derek Meyer. He played basketball at College.
Okay, I think I remember him, yeah.
So he was young, so he didn't really know any of us. So he didn't really know how to push our buttons. But I think he was one of my favorite coaches, because he knew how to push us, and he just knew how to get us together and just play basketball, even though I don't think we won many games, unfortunately. But I think just a good experience, just having a different variety of coaches and throughout my junior Cougar basketball. So.
Absolutely, yeah. I have a similar experience with different coaches, different teammates, and kind of learning different coaching styles and how you react to that. So it prepares you pretty well for the next step of your life and everything. So when it comes to your personal basketball career, do you have any career highlights that you remember where you had a nice crossover, you hit an important shot, or what do you think is some of your career highlights?
Man, that's a good question. I don't think I can remember, because a lot of times I just being a young self and just being a screwball. We're just trying to make so many different moves and crossovers and try to look cool. And obviously that wasn't supposed to be doing that, and I didn't really go anywhere with it. But no, I don't think I really have a favorite or memory of playing junior Cougar basketball in terms of how many points I scored, or I think just overall, like I said, just having those friendships is probably the most important thing, and just grateful for it. But yeah, no, junior Cougars just played an important part in my life, and I'm glad I was able to experience that.
That's a great answer, yeah. Very a team-oriented answer right there. That's what we like to hear. So, obviously, junior Cougars for a while growing up. How long did that basketball, like you going out for basketball, how long did that go for, and when did you decide to, like, call it quits, I guess?
Yeah, so I think I started playing basketball when I was really young, went through the YMCA rec leagues, did that, then eventually into junior Cougar basketball, and then I think the last time I played basketball, like organized basketball, was probably my freshman year of high school.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if you knew that, but yeah, I went out freshman year. I loved it. Coach Green, shout out Coach Green. he was my coach, and we had a lot of good memories. But I think after basketball, after my freshman year, I was like, you know what, I'm decided to do something different. So I actually started playing golf a little bit.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I played golf a little bit, and but no, freshman basketball was a great time, but I just knew that I don't think it was going to take me all the way through. Mm-hmm. So because I played it for so many years, I kind of got tired of it. So I wanted to do something different. So I played golf, and I played soccer in the spring.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, but yeah, no, basketball. I love basketball. It's my favorite sport to this day. Love to watch it. But no, at some point, I just knew I had to stop playing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually played golf and soccer, so that we have a little connection there. But did you have Coach Green for golf too? Because I remember Coach Green coaching golf.
Yeah,
you did. Okay,
shout out Coach Green.
Yeah,
he was my coach, and I think my favorite part about playing golf was obviously you have so many people can play on the varsity team. You can't have everybody play. So I was on. Obviously, wasn't good enough. So, but my favorite memory is just after a long day of school, just going out and just playing nine holes.
It's so nice.
Just playing 9 holes of golf with your friends, and just not having to worry about schoolwork or not having to have so much pressure on you and playing tournaments. But I did play in a little bit of some tournaments, but not very much. But I think that was probably my favorite part, was just going out and just playing some nice 9 holes. So
it was like just head over to Ellis after school, get the clubs ready, and just
go from there.
It was so nice, man. I miss those days so much. So you played soccer. What coaches do you have for soccer? I'm trying to remember if you would have had anybody that I had.
So for my freshman year, I don't remember his name. Apologize. He was pretty young coach. But after my junior year, I was on JV the rest of my career. Okay. So I had Coach Evans.
Okay, yeah.
So and I think he's a varsity coach.
I think
now.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So when I was there, he was the JV coach, and I really enjoyed him. He pushed us a lot, and he's from a military background, I believe. So he was very strict, but no, he was a really good coach and pushed us, and I had a lot of fun with him. And obviously, I wanted to make varsity, but wasn't good enough. But JV, no, I had such a good time, and I played all 4 years. And
nice.
But yeah, no, it was a good time.
What position were you in soccer?
I varied. I think I was midfield, forward.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, no, I love soccer. It's great conditioning. I mean, you can run up and down. You just got to be in shape.
Oh yeah, it's tough. Yeah, so I came in freshman year of soccer. I had Coach Erie for Fresh Soft, because Fresh Soft was put together. Yep. So I had him for 2 years, and then going into my junior year was that year that Evans was promoted to varsity, and they made that change. So then Coach Erie went to JV, so I had Coach Erie again, and we loved him all 3 years. He was a great guy, and I think I was texting my friends senior year, my favorite friends from soccer, and they're like, guys, we're going out for soccer this year, and they're like, I don't think we are. I don't think we want to do it. So senior year, I didn't do it. I had some of my favorite friends that decided not to. So, but I loved it too. I thought it was a great experience all around. So, other than that, from sports, that covers most of it from high school. But any other Kennedy memories in general, maybe like pep assembly or any other stuff that kind of you want to share?
Absolutely, we can get into that. I mean, I think my favorite part about the 2016 class and your brother's class, I think, was we were so close. We were so tight, and we just knew everybody. We had a close relationship with everybody, and the pep assemblies, man, those got out of hand. And I think we won every year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. But, my brother lets me know quite a bit. 7 total and 6 in a row or something like that.
Some crazy record like that. But we were just go all out and just put our heart out into it. And I think that was probably one of my favorite memories. All of us just coming together in that hot gym and just those pep assemblies just got out of hand and a lot of crazy stuff happened. But no, I think that was probably one of my favorite memories. And then I think we also went on a big spring break trip.
Oh, really? Cool.
So a lot of us just hung out and just kind of closed the chapter before we all went to college. So.
That's right. Very cool. Yeah, you'd come out of those pep assemblies and walking down the halls, your ears would be ringing for like 10 minutes, and it was like, whew, what just happened, man? But yeah, totally agree. So, class of 2016 wraps up. You graduate from Kennedy. I don't exactly remember what you did after that. Did you go to college? Or
Yep, I went to college. Yep.
Where's that?
Yeah, so funny thing. So senior year, I don't know if you know this, but I'm a big Irish, obviously, I'm a big Iowa State fan.
Yeah.
Family members all went to Iowa State, and so I think my 2 college choices were either Iowa State or University of Northern Iowa.
Okay.
And I was going to consider Iowa, but then I realized they don't have my major. My major is supply chain management.
Okay.
So they didn't have a major. But senior year, I was really torn between either University of Northern Iowa or Iowa State, and so I think I wanted to do something a little bit different within the family, and so I decided, you know what, I'll go to University of Northern Iowa. So I was going to go there, degree in supply chain management, and made so many great friends. But like me being a big Iowa State fan, it was always in the back of my mind to probably transfer to Iowa State, and so I transferred to Iowa State my sophomore year, and then from there I graduated in 2021, and so I had a great experience at Iowa State. I mean, I'm used to going to big schools, used to having a lot of people around me. So going to UNI was kind of an adjustment because it's a smaller school, but going to Iowa State was I loved it so much, going to football games, basketball games, having that college experience, but also meeting a lot of people from different places.
Exactly.
And so I think just the college experience was awesome, and I was involved in different clubs, and a lot of those clubs actually helped me get my job right now, and so just being able to network with a lot of different companies, and you know how they do. They come in and talk to you, give you the speech. Yeah. So, but no, joining clubs and just being active within college was just a good experience. In Iowa State, I'll always be happy that I transferred to Iowa State. So
that's awesome. I definitely agree. The big college feel is super nice, and even though we're at rivals, it seems like we have some of the same memories. So I'm glad that you felt the same way. Did you have like a internship, I'm assuming, at some point in college? And was that in UNI days, or was that the Iowa State period for you? Or
it was Iowa State days, because I think usually sometimes you get internships sophomore years, but you know how that is.
It's tough. Yeah.
Freshman, sophomore years, you go to you can go to the career fair, but I don't think they're really looking at you. But no, more of the junior seniors, they get more looked at. And
absolutely, I
got my internship, I think, junior year, and the funny thing was that was during 2020, so you know how that happened.
Yep.
COVID, and so I had an internship with Collins Aerospace and had a great time. But I think the last 4 months, I think I worked from home because that's when COVID hit. So I had to move all my stuff from my office to my house and had to work remote. And obviously, no one knew what was going on.
We were all confused.
Nobody knew how to work from home, but I managed that, and so my internship was great, and then from there I went back to Iowa State and graduated, and so.
Nice. Do you prefer working remotely, or do you like to be in person most of the time?
So I prefer working from home. I know a lot of people are not as focused working at home, but I think I do a pretty good job. And recently I've had to go into the office twice a week, which is nice, just to meet with your team members and get to talk to them in person instead of messaging them on Teams or something. So, but no, I mean, I prefer to work from home, but I'm open to working in person as well. So. All
right, nice. And are you still with Collins then after this? Cool.
So I guess after college, I had a job in Minneapolis.
Oh, really?
So I worked there it was a small medical manufacturing company. Nice. So I was a supply chain analyst, and lived there for 9 months. But I don't know if you know this, but my dad has worked at Collins.
I think I did know
yeah,
that.
He worked there for 30 years.
Okay, wow.
My grandpa worked there 40 years.
Wow.
And so it's kind of a family legacy.
I guess so.
And so in terms of networking, I knew a lot of people that worked there because you know how it is. Pretty much everybody in the Cedar Rapids area works at Collins.
Yeah, like half of the city. Yeah.
So I was able to network and send my resume out, and so that's how I got my job now. And yeah, working at Collins, doing great. And I've been there, I think, 5 months now.
Cool.
But if you count the internships, I've been there for a little bit. But
Yeah,
I worked
absolutely.
in Minneapolis. That was a great experience too because I only had one college friend, so I didn't really know a whole lot of people. So I had to kind of get out of my comfort zone, meet some new people.
Yeah.
And living in Minneapolis, it's not like it's New York where it's a big city, but it's big enough where there's a lot of people you can hang out with. So
Exactly, yeah. So my brother also works at Collins Aerospace.
Yep.
I don't know if you,
Yep.
you do. So one of the benefits that I've had off of that is getting to access to the Collins Rec Center. If you're familiar, I love going in there, getting a good lift in, shooting hoops and everything. Have you been able to take advantage of that rec center as well?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of in high school days went there all the time because my dad worked there. So
Oh, yeah.
went to Collins. And speaking of your brother, I see him all the time actually.
Really?
And
Okay.
I go out there to lift or just do some cardio, and I see him all the time. I think one of the days he was playing in a basketball league.
Yeah, that's right.
So
He's starting it up, yep.
So I said hi, but yeah, no, I see your brother all the time there.
You always tell him to put some more weight on because that's some rookie numbers he's lifting, or?
I don't think I would go that far. I think he's a lot bigger than I am. I don't want to mess with him. But no, shout out to your brother Dylan. Yeah, no, I see him a lot, and I do know that he worked at Collins, or
That's
he does
right.
work at
Yep,
Collins. So.
He does, yes. Cool, that's funny. All right, well, that pretty much almost brings us to current day. Obviously, we want to get into the main event of the conversation, which is Chargers versus Chiefs. I've been a Chargers fan since probably 2006, 2007. I'm wondering, how long have you been a Chiefs fan, and like how did you decide to become a Chiefs fan?
Yeah, so I think I've been a Chiefs fan ever since I was born.
All right.
Yeah, I bleed Chiefs colors.
All right.
But I think the funny thing is my grandpa is a Raiders fan.
Ooh.
I don't think he's a Raiders fan anymore. I don't think he'd care less. But he used to be a big Raiders fan back in the 80s when they won multiple Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I think one of the times, I think they were playing the Chiefs, and the Chiefs were such a big underdog. My dad decided, you know what, I'm going to go for the underdog. And so he's like, I'm going to start rooting for the Chiefs. And I think they won that game. They were a big underdog, and I think that's how I became a Chiefs fan. And
Really?
obviously, I like any teams he likes. So big Chiefs fan. That's how I got my Chiefs fandom, and I'm glad I'm a Chiefs fan. But it's been a lot of tough years before Mahomes has arrived.
That's
And
true.
I think the greatest thing that's ever happened to Chiefs is hiring Andy Reid. Because thank you, Philadelphia Eagles, for firing him. And but no, it's just the Chiefs. Being a Chiefs fan is not always easy. It might seem like it now since we have Patrick Mahomes, but we've had a lot of rough years.
Yeah. So when I became a Chargers fan, I guess I'll tell you the story quickly. So my parents, obviously, like same as you, I would have liked any team that they liked. That's how I became Iowa fans, just because my dad loved Iowa. So as far as NFL, my dad didn't really have one NFL team that he was like diehard for. He lived in Chicago for a while, so he kind of liked the Bears. He has a sister of his that lives up in Wisconsin, so he kind of likes the Packers, and it's just like he'll root for the local teams and stuff, but I didn't really have like a one single team to go for. And so my family one year went on a vacation to San Diego, and we went there, and I had a great time, and it was super fun. It was like one of the peak experiences for me. And then I looked at the NFL teams that year, and I saw LaDainian Tomlinson for the Chargers absolutely lighting everybody up, and he won the MVP. And so that's kind of how I got my start there. But so what else? Let's see.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure, go for it.
Favorite Chargers player?
Of all time or right now?
Of all time.
Oh, LT, of course. LaDainian Tomlinson, man. I don't know if you have much experience. Like, do you remember seeing him play much at all?
Yeah.
I mean,
we were young, but no, he was a beast. And unfortunately, the Chargers moved to San Diego. I mean, I thought San Diego was a great place for them. I mean, it's a lot of fandom, and now that they moved to LA, I mean, I think the biggest thing when you move to a big city like LA is there's so many different things going on.
I know, man.
You got USC, you got the Rams, you guys play in the same stadium now. And you guys got the Dodgers, you got the Lakers. So I don't understand why they moved, probably because of money. But I thought it was great having them in San Diego because, I mean, all they have is a baseball team.
That's right.
And I think just them, unfortunately, moving to LA kind of hurt their fan base. But.
Definitely, because we had to play in the soccer stadium for a few years. And our owner, I don't know, everybody in our fan base hates our owner, and he's like always cheap. And he's taking us to LA where there's so much crap going on, and we don't really have that core fan base that we had in San Diego, and it's tough, man. But we're trying to make a name for ourselves over there, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, with what you said about Chiefs not always having it easy, I remember Chargers, like mid to late 2000s, we would just like routinely win the division and like, yep, this is ours and stuff. We haven't won the division since 2009.
It's been that long?
Yes. It
Why
was...
not? 2000, was that the last year that LT played, or was that?
I think it might have been the year after LT, like 1 year after LT.
Because I know you guys had LT, Phillip Rivers.
Yep. Gates.
And Stud.
Yep.
Antonio Gates. Yeah, you guys were so good.
We were.
Like I mentioned, Chiefs, we've had a lot of coaches that don't know what the heck they're doing.
Yeah.
But no, it's just, I think just being a Chiefs fan is we're so loyal no matter what. And I think that's the same thing as in being an Iowa fan, an Iowa State fan.
Yep.
Going back to this, that we're so loyal. No matter what your record is, I think we'll show up no matter what. But since the Chiefs have gotten so good, obviously, we become more talked about and everything. But no, those were rough years. I remember losing the Broncos when they had Peyton Manning. They were Peyton Manning, DeMarcus Thomas. They had so many people. DeMarcus Ware.
Yeah.
They would win those divisions routinely like the Chiefs do now. But no.
Yep.
Chiefs had a rough couple years.
That's right, yeah. AFC West always has some sort of dominant team, it feels like. It kind of rotates Chiefs right now. But have you been to any Chiefs games, and if so, how many?
Ooh. I think I've been to... That's a good question. 2. And
okay.
I think 1... Yeah, 2. So a couple years ago, I went with one of my good friends. He's a Raiders fan, unfortunately. So, but no, we went there. That's the first time I've ever been to a Chiefs game.
Nice.
It was in November, so you know how it is. It was cold, windy, but no, it was a great time. Chiefs ended up blowing them out, which was nice.
Cool.
But no, just being part of a football stadium and being part of with the fans and going to an NFL experience is a lot different than going to a college.
Very different.
Going to a college game. But no, I've been to one, and I don't know if you know this, but I went to a Chiefs game this year when they played the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh, really?
Because I know somebody that works for the Colts.
Yeah.
And so that was probably the worst game they've ever played. And of course, the game I go to, we play the worst.
I remember being very confused on how the Colts, because the Colts were not a good team.
Yeah, the Colts still aren't good.
Still not.
And but no, I think the biggest contributor was we had our best kicker, Harrison Buckner. He was hurt because
that's right.
when we played the Cardinals, their turf somehow messed up his legs. So obviously we had to sign somebody from free agency, and he couldn't make any field goals, couldn't make an extra point. So that's how we lost the game. And I'm not trying to make excuses, but when you make a lot of field goals and you're supposed to do that, I mean, it's a good chance we won because the Colts offense obviously hasn't done anything, and they didn't do anything on their defense. But we gave it up to them, and I know we've lost the Bills. I mean, it's the Bills. I mean, that's probably our biggest rival now. But no,
True.
Going to I think that was the last time I went to a Chiefs game was this September.
Okay.
So. Good experience.
I can definitely relate to special teams struggles as a Chargers fan. We've had a rotating door of kickers coming through. I think there was a season like 2017 maybe. We had 5 different kickers in one season, and they all were terrible. So I feel you there. But I'll ask the same question you asked to me. Favorite Chiefs player of all time? What do you got?
Man, favorite Chiefs player. Obviously, I really like Patrick Mahomes, obviously. He's done so many great things, but I think the underrated guy is probably Jamal Charles.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember him.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
He's running back out of Texas. Such a stud, and he would do so many. Those were the years where we were so bad, and he was our only good player, and so we just would hand it off to him every year or every time, and he would just go for so many touchdowns and lead us to wins. But no, I think probably one of my favorite, besides Mahomes, is probably Jamal Charles.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Such a stud.
Yeah, he had some great moves, and he was a great fantasy football player. If you ever picked him up, you were doing good. So crazy times. But I want to know, it's 2017, it's the NFL draft. You guys are going in. You had a good quarterback with Alec Smith. Things were doing solid at the time. You guys go out and draft Mahomes in the first round. What was the first thing? What your initial reaction to that? You think was that like awesome, or like why are we doing this, or how do you kind of take that in?
Like you had mentioned, we had a good core. I think we had Alex Smith for 4 years, I think, and then the first year was when we hired Andy Reid. He decided to make the trade to the 49ers because Alex Smith, he had gotten benched because of Colin Kaepernick because he played on the 49ers that
Oh,
year.
yeah.
And I think that was the year he led in the Super Bowl.
Uh-huh.
And so Alex Smith was the backup, and we needed a quarterback, obviously. So Andy Reid was smart enough to hire a veteran quarterback. So Alex Smith, he's another underrated player. Obviously he's not as flashy as Mahomes, but he's led us to some divisions and some playoff wins. And, But I think Patrick Mahomes, obviously he's from the Big 12, went to Texas Tech, and Iowa State did pretty good, surprisingly did pretty well against Mahomes.
Oh, wow.
And so, and Cliff Kingsbury was the Texas Tech coach. And
Yeah.
I didn't really watch much of Texas Tech. But no, I think the first quarterback that got picked was, Mitchell, what's his name? Mitchell
Trubisky.
Yeah, I think he was the first pick, and I don't think really anybody knew how good Mahomes was. And
Yeah.
I don't think they really watched much of Texas Tech, but I think the first thing that I did when we drafted Mahomes was he might be actually pretty good. I think because Andy Reid, he's an offensive genius. He knows what he's doing.
Yep.
And I think, and obviously I didn't really know much about Mahomes, but whenever the Chiefs pick a player, I just believe in the Chiefs, and I know what they do, and our GM's been pretty good lately getting some good draft picks and selecting some good players. But, obviously I was kind of I had to see, I really didn't know a whole lot about Mahomes and wasn't sure how he was going to do, and I think the biggest thing for the Chiefs, or probably the smartest thing they did, was just bench or not play him his first year and just learn from a veteran like Alex Smith and not get him out there and rush him, because a lot of, how it is, a lot of the times these rookie quarterbacks have so much pressure on them, and like Justin Herbert, he has so much pressure.
Yes.
And you have to put him out there because you know how they are. Fans are always complaining about, we drafted this guy so high, we need to start him. But I think Andy Reid knows what he was doing. He was like, no, let's just develop him for a year and see how it goes. And he played, last 2 games, and he did all right. But I think just being able to develop him, and obviously Andy Reid's a good coach, and obviously contributes a lot to how Mahomes has played this year and has played so far in his career. But obviously, I didn't really know a whole lot about Mahomes. But like I said, I just believe in the Chiefs whenever they pick a player, and hopefully it turns out. And obviously that has. So
Yeah, I think that it's interesting how Mahomes, obviously so talented, but like you said, didn't have a whole lot of college success. It seemed like they were kind of middle of the pack in the Big 12 and stuff, but you could see just like the baseball throw that he can do just on the run, just a little flick, and it's just like the potential's there, but you put him with Andy Reid, and then he's really able to unlock everything that he can do. Yeah. So it was really a great match for you guys to pair them up.
It doesn't hurt when you have Travis Kelce too and Tyreek Hill.
It's for so many years, man. It's just you couldn't ask for a better core like that, and it's frustrating, but it's.
What do you? I'll ask you a couple questions. What do you think about Stanley? Is this the year he gets fired, or you give him one more year?
Oh, Staley, yeah.
Staley.
I think the way the Chargers are, we're patient with our coaches, even if that's not good sometimes. I think Staley, he has potential. I think that he's a defensive-minded coach, and that our offensive coordinator's taken a lot of heat this year because with our first couple of years with Herbert, it seemed like we were throwing deep balls a ton, and we're like stretching it out and trying to like attack. And now that we've brought in Joe Lombardi, who's a former Saints QB coach and offensive coordinator, now he's our offensive coordinator, kind of has him in the Drew Brees offense where he's like quick throws to the outside and kind of underneath stuff. And I feel like some of the Justin Herbert potential is not really being shown. And maybe some of that is injuries because Keenan Allen, Mike Williams are out. But I feel like Staley is going to get another year after this year, and we're going to be patient with him and see what happens. But I feel like a little underwhelming, a little underperformance from Staley thus far in his career. But like you had mentioned, you guys deal with. I feel like every year you guys are. I feel like I'm so scared of you guys because Justin Herbert, he's such a stud. And all the potential. Then once it comes to the year, you guys end up having so many injuries. Either your offensive line gets hurt, or your running back gets hurt, or your wide receivers get hurt, or your defensive players gets whatever the case may be. Or all of the above.
All of the above. You guys always get hurt, and that was the biggest thing coming in this year was everyone was talking about the AFC West, how competitive it was getting, and I was worried because I'm like, since it's going to be so competitive, you have Devontae Adams with the Raiders, you have Russell Wilson with the Broncos, bringing him in, paying him a lot of money, and I thought just playing each other we play each other twice a year, so I think just playing each other and just getting so tired out and just getting tired, and I don't think the Chiefs would do so well in the playoffs, but obviously that has kind of turned. The Broncos I don't think they made the right hire. And Raiders, I don't know what's going on with the Raiders.
No, it's just
typical Raiders. They have so much talent, but they can never use it.
Yeah.
And then the Chargers, obviously, with the injuries. And now it looks like if the Chiefs get to win tonight, hopefully, I think we'll lock it up for another year.
Yeah.
But no, going into the year, you know how it was. I was just chatting about, this is the best division out there.
I know.
These teams are lucky to even go 4-3 or whatever the record is, and obviously that's turned. But no,
Yeah.
and I think another question is with you being with your coach being a defensive mind. Would you like to have an offensive coach?
I think I would. Especially for a young quarterback. I think he could really benefit from that. It seems like Tom Brady, how he's so experienced and he knows the playbook and he's been in the league for so many years. Then at that point, you can kind of afford to have a defensive head coach because Tom's going to be able to manage the offense and everything. But when you have a young quarterback, you really want to help him develop, and I feel like that's the most important part of your team. So if you put him with an offensive coach, that's going to boost him a little more. You're going to have a better connection that way, and I think that we've seen the Chiefs kind of have success with that path. And I feel like the Chargers have been a little cheap with head coaches. We've hired a bunch of first-year head coaches. We took Anthony Lynn, who was a quarterback's coach for the Bills, I think, made him. And then we got Brandon Staley, who was with the Rams, and we're getting all these first-time guys. I feel like sometimes we need a guy with experience. We've floated around the idea of Sean Payton. He's taken a year off. I don't know if that's really going to happen or not, but I don't know.
No, I mean, Staley, he comes from the Sean McVay coaching tree. You know how it is. If you work for Sean McVay, you get hired right away.
That's right.
You know how it is. Half the league is.
Kevin O'Connell now with the Vikings.
O'Connell. Oh, yeah. Kevin O'Connell. You got Taylor for the Bengals. You got.
That's right.
Who else do we got? I don't think Kyle Shanahan worked under Sean, but they have a close connection. But, I thought it'd be a good hire. I didn't really know much about Staley.
No, neither did I when he got hired.
But I knew he was defensive coordinator. But and I think the biggest problem wasn't Tyrod Taylor supposed to start, and then he got injured, and then he had to rush into Justin Herbert.
That was Anthony Lynn's last year as head coach.
Okay.
Yep. So Tyrod Taylor was the starter week 1. We beat the Bengals. Week 2, Tyrod has a lung injury, and they want to give him a pain-killing injection to kind of relieve the pain. The doctor mislocates or punctures his lung off of that, so he can't go. Herbert gets a minute notice before the game. Hey, you're going to start against the Chiefs. Opening drive leads us to 80 yards for a touchdown. I was like, whoa, we have something special here. And then we end up losing the game in overtime because Harrison Butker decided to make a 57-yard field goal. But that's besides the point. But yes, I do.
Shout out to Harrison Butker, stud. No wonder why we lost the coach because we didn't have him. But no, I think, like you always say, the Chiefs Chargers are so. It doesn't matter what the record is. And I think I saw a stat. I think Patrick Mahomes is, I don't know how, but he's 6-2 against the Chargers.
Yeah.
And but no, it should be a good game tonight, and it might be a home game for the Chiefs tonight. But I know there's a lot of Chargers fans, but I just, we come back to this point, I just wish the Chargers would move back to San Diego.
Same.
So many fan bases. I think they lost a lot of people, too, when they moved and decided, I'll just be a fan of somebody else.
That's right. That's right. Same here. And it's tough. I mean, we had Qualcomm Stadium going strong for so many years, and our owner decided to jump ship, and it's just a mess. But I want to give a quick shout-out to my friend Zach. He was a grade younger than me at Kennedy. He's in LA. He's going to the game tonight. He's a Chargers fan. So, Zach, I appreciate you, man. You better cheer on the boys tonight. We get that win. So, we'll see. I don't know. Next one I got for you. Seems like the Chiefs, as great as they are, they sometimes get down to an early deficit in the games. And it never really matters because you guys can just put together these amazing second halves. And I'm wondering, at this point, as a Chiefs fan, when you get down early, are you just kick back and you're like, oh, it's a matter of time. We got this. Don't worry. Are you nervous at that point, or are you just like, it'll happen. We'll come back?
Tell me about it. I mean, it might seem like, since we have, I think, obviously, biased, but I think we have the best player in the league, and Mahomes. But no, you might think it's okay. We'll just have Mahomes. We'll go down. We'll go down and score and get back granted. But no, I think, and that's also, I think the biggest strength that we have as the Chiefs is, we don't when we go down, we don't flinch or not.
That's right.
We don't flinch or we don't just get all tight. We're just super relaxed. I think that comes from the coaching too. Is Andy Reid believes in Mahomes so much that we're going to find a way to win. And I think during the Super Bowl year that we won, I think we were down in every playoff game by at least 10 points or more.
Wow.
And so, but somehow we came back and we were down by 10 with the 49ers. Shout out to the 49ers. I love playing them, 2-0 against them.
Dang.
But no, I think just speaks for the coaching is that Andy Reid just believes in Mahomes and just tells them, hey, we're fine. A lot of ball game left, and you can see that. And I guess playing with the Titans a couple of weeks ago, we couldn't move the ball, and the Titans were doing so well playing defense. And for some reason, we found a way to win. Patrick Mahomes just started running it more instead of throwing it, and we won. But
yeah.
No, definitely. Don't get me wrong. I'm not as confident as I probably sound like when I'm on Twitter whenever the Chiefs win. But no, I'm definitely nervous because I know how the defense has played, and they played. But the last couple of years, the offense has been so good, and then when we get down, I just don't have the confidence in our defense. But with our GM drafting so many young players on the defensive side, I'm definitely more confident in our defense. But yeah. I guess just the biggest strength is the Chiefs. They don't flinch. They just
That's right.
say, hey, a lot of game left, and we'll go from here. And it's been. I guess that's how it is being a Chiefs fan. Is you never know what will happen. You could lose a game that you should have won, or you could have. You just never know. So
I know, man. And it seems like the Chargers like to get out to an early lead against the Chiefs, and it just. At this point, I've learned my lesson not to get excited because it's inevitable that your guys are going to come back. So maybe tonight, Chargers, we take it slow at the first quarter, and then we kind of build from there. We'll see how that works. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, when the Chiefs do play well and they get out, they just get all fancy. You know how Andy Reid is in the red zone. They get so cute. I'm just just run the ball, just throw the ball, please. Don't get fancy. I know most of the time they work, but. Just sometimes when we're up, it's the other way. We don't play as clean. Or
That's true.
Just get all cocky, and it's like I think last year's what happened when we were at the bank when we were up against the Bengals, and we just it's a home game. We're gonna win. We're gonna find a way to win, and obviously that broke my heart. Didn't get through, and I'm kind of happy because I'm obviously happy. Obviously, I'm disappointed we didn't make the Super Bowl, but I mean the Rams were gonna be in the Super Bowl, and we have to play in their home stadium, and we already did that against the Buccaneers in 2020.
True.
We played in Tampa Bay, so I'm like, we'll just take a year off and not have to play in a home game. But yeah.
So that reminds me when you say getting cute in the red zone. That reminds me of a crazy play I remember. There was one time when you guys had Dontari Poe take the snap, and he jumped up and threw a touchdown. Do you remember that one?
Yep. Big guy. I think it was a Monday night game against the Patriots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, big defensive lineman. Never know with Andy Reid. And the Rose Bowl formation against the 49ers in the Super Bowl, I think he got that play from like the 1930s or something.
Wow.
You just never know with Andy Reid. He goes up so many different weird plays, and then sometimes we act like Mahomes is the quarterback and we bring in a tight end into formation, and then he goes under center and just punches it in. You never know with Andy Reid, and I'm so happy, like I had mentioned before earlier. I think the biggest thing the Chiefs could have done was hire Andy Reid.
Yep.
It's best thing that's happened to our franchise. So
it's been very successful ever since then. Maybe the Chargers can take notes and try to bring in a great coach.
Maybe
someday.
you can hire an offensive coordinator. He gets a job.
Hey, Eric Bieniemy. I feel like that he's always been in the conversation, but he's never gotten hired as head coach.
I've never understood that. So I don't know if he's just not a good interviewer. He's just not good at interviews, or people just don't believe in him because they see Andy Reid calling plays. You know how he is. He's an offensive genius, and they just assume, okay, maybe Andy Reid's just the one calling plays. But I think Eric's the one that's calling the plays. So and Andy Reid's just there to help him and advise him. But I don't know. Maybe more teams will learn not to hire defensive coordinators and hire offense, because you know how it is. The NFL is more towards the offensive players now.
For sure. Yeah. So let's see here. What were you doing the night that the Chiefs won the Super Bowl? And were you just bouncing off the walls and running around the city after that? What was that night like?
I was at home.
Okay.
I was still in college, and I was working at Collins Aerospace, so I was working in town and couldn't miss the big game with my dad. It's been 50 years since we've won a Super Bowl, and and so my dad and I are a big Chiefs fan, and I think all day I was just thinking about. If we win the Super Bowl, man, I don't know how I'm gonna feel. I'm either gonna start crying or just being so shocked I don't even move. You know?
Yeah.
So just all day, just hanging out, just watching other Super Bowls. You know how that is on NFL Network. They play all the classics, and so I think it was a great night. Just had my grandpa over, had some other family members over,
Cool.
and watched the game. And I did start crying when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl.
All right.
It's been 50 years, man.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of heartbreak and a lot of losses. But no, it was a great night, and I'm just happy Chiefs finally won a Super Bowl, and hopefully we'll continue to win some more Super Bowls. But we'll see. It's very hard to win multiple Super Bowls.
That's right. Yeah. You guys definitely have a setup for a successful run, but like I said, yeah, very tough to get back there year after year. Seems like you guys, with the core of Mahomes, Kelsey, and Tyreek, were just a machine for so many years. Tyreek ends up deciding to go to the Dolphins. What kind of reaction do you have to that, and do you think that you've done a nice job of replacing that production that he's had?
Yeah, I think my first reaction was, I think Tyreek Hill, I think we paid him and paid him so much money, and you know how it is, wide receivers and the NFL players to get greedy, and they want all the money they want, and I think he wanted a big paycheck, and our GM was like, hey, we took a chance on you, and we paid you already, and I don't think we have enough money to pay you, because we got to pay the offensive lineman, we got to pay other people, and obviously Tyreek Hill, stud, one of the best wide receivers in the league, but I think it was probably the right time to let him go and be like, hey, let's just get a couple of draft picks and send him out. And like you had said, and even when we did trade Tyreek Hill, I mean, I was kind of disappointed, but I come back to you. I mean, I believe in Andy Reid and everything the Chiefs do, and I know they have a plan for everything. And before the season, you know how it was on every television network. Everybody was saying, "Oh, they're gonna be lucky to win 5 games or 6 games without Tyreek Hill." And people forget we have Travis Kelce, I think the best tight end in the league. We have other playmakers, and we have a lot of young guys, and we've drafted so many guys. I think it was just a chance for them to come in and show them what we got, what they got, and obviously it's worked out so far, and it's worked out for both sides, honestly. The Dolphins are playing really well with Tua, I think. It's helped Tua's development with Tyreek Hill being there, and I think we brought in Juju. He's a bigger body. Obviously he's injured tonight, but no, I think just like I had mentioned before, just believing in Andy Reid and just knowing he's got a plan, and we have a lot of more options to throw at you, and I think that works too, because I know the last couple of years everybody knew Mahomes was either going to throw it to Kelsey or Tyreek Hill, so the defensive players would either double team one of those players, but I think just having more options in the wide receiver position, I think definitely has helped and has come a long way. So
okay, cool, yeah. So I think that wraps up most of my Chiefs questions. I guess last one would be predictions for tonight's game. What do you think? How is the game going to go? Who wins? Is it going to be close? Is it going to be blowout? What do you got?
I wouldn't say blowout. It's never blowout.
Never blowout.
And I know how the Chiefs are. Whenever they play division rivals, they like to keep it close, except for when we play the Raiders. But no, I think it will be close like always. It's going to be probably a maybe 24-21 or 35-28 game, high-scoring game.
Sounds right,
It's in the Charger Stadium, and hopefully the defense plays. Hopefully the Chiefs play well, but we'll see. Like you said, it always comes down to the wire, and hopefully the Chiefs get a win because we control our own destiny now. And the AFC, we got the 1 seed. Shout out to who beat the Bills last week. Do you remember? Vikings.
That's right. Yeah.
Shout out to the Vikings. Thank you for beating the Bills.
That was a crazy game.
That was crazy. AFC division, AFC loss for them, so I'm happy the Bills lost. But yeah, we'll see. What do you think?
I think that last I saw, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are both questionable, and they're like hoping and they're optimistic to play. I think if we have both of them, it's going to be one of those classic Charger Chiefs games that comes down to the wire. If we don't have either of them, I have a tough time thinking that this is going to be close. It might get ugly, but I feel like it's just we're so limited without them. You know, we have wide receiver 1 is DeAndre Carter, and then we have Michael Bandy and Jason Moore, and like who even are these guys? You know, behind them, and it's like I don't know, man. But I think if we got our 2 wide receivers, we'll have a chance. Yeah,
I have Mike Williams on my fantasy team, so hopefully he plays. But like you said, he's been out for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Has Keenan Allen even played this year?
He has, I think, like first 2 weeks maybe, and then he hurt his hamstring. And we thought it would be like a 2 or 3 week injury, but he might have re-aggravated it and just like trying to come back. And it's just like I don't know, man.
I don't know. I can never count on Justin Herbert though. He's got He got so much arm talent.
That's
and he
right.
makes plays like Mahomes. You think you got him, and then he just gets out of a sack and just throws it for about 60 yards down the field. And you know how it is.
So exciting to watch.
But no, I'm definitely excited for the game tonight and looking forward to watching the other games. And hopefully Chiefs get the win, but we'll see.
Yep, going to be fun. So there's a last little joke question I like to throw into some of my guests here. If you need a moment to think about this, let me know. But if we were going to play hide and seek at Kennedy High School, we have the entire school to play hide and seek. Where are you going to go to hide? Where's your spot?
Man.
And while you think, I can give you some of my ideas that I've given in the past.
Okay.
So there's one scenario where I go into the gym. We're playing hide and seek. I go into the gym. I go climb the bleachers up into the press box. And then I tell someone to retract the bleachers and bring them in so they're condensed so no one can get up there into the press box. I hide in the corner of the press box and I'm good to go. That's one scenario. What else did I have? One of my friends was saying that there's down when you're going to the West Gym in Kennedy in that little hallway, there's like a equipment closet where they keep a bunch of baseball gear and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't even look like there's a door there, but it opens up and you can get back into some nooks and crannies in there. So maybe that's an option. Does anything come to mind to you? Where are you going to hide?
It's a good question. It's been a long time since I've been at Kennedy.
That's true. Yeah.
I think they've done a lot of changes, and I forgot. That's a good one. Press box. I kind of forget we have a press box.
Yeah.
It's kind of hidden, you know.
It is, yeah.
So that'd probably be a good hiding spot. Man, where would I hide? Maybe under the bleachers. I don't know.
Under the bleachers. That's
maybe,
a classic. Yeah.
Maybe, but. I like your answer of the press box because I have been in there and it's so small you can just hide underneath it and nobody's gonna find you. You know.
Yeah.
But I'd probably go under the bleachers. I know that.
Cool.
Might sound corny, but no, I think I would go with that. So.
Yeah, because I think only the janitors can get in with that key to the door that gets underneath of there.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, if you get in there, you just hang out, don't make much sound, you just kind of chill. Good spot. Absolutely, I agree. All right, well, I think that's pretty much it. Is there anything you want to shout out? Maybe your social medias, you can shout out some friends, plug any of your things you want to do. Now's your time. Go ahead.
Shout out. I think my Twitter and Instagram is at Alec Mobley, but it might be my nickname, A-Mob. Shout out to all my friends that have called me that.
A-Mob, dude.
And everybody calls me A-Mob. Even speaking of basketball in Kennedy, whenever I'd go to high school basketball games, everybody would start chanting my name.
A-Mob.
When I enter the gym, I'm like, come on, guys. I'm not even playing. I'm not. It's not for me. I'm here for the other guys. But
you're a fan favorite.
Apparently. And everybody calls me A-Mob to this day. And
love it.
But I think just shouting out my Twitter at Alec Mobley, Instagram Alec Mobley, and I don't tweet much. I think the only thing is I tweet about the Chiefs when they win or the Boston Celtics. Shout out Boston Celtics.
Oh, yeah?
11-game win streak, and hopefully they make the finals, and I think they play the Mavericks this Wednesday. So shout out to the Celtics as well, and
that's right.
And the Cyclones. Come on, guys, you got to do a better job, and hopefully make some changes. But we'll see. But shout out to all my sports teams, and shout out to you, Brandon, for having me. And
I appreciate
having this nice conversation about the Chiefs and about life, and hopefully, like I said, hopefully the Chiefs get the win tonight. So thank you again.
We'll see about that. Thank you so much, man. This is fun. As you could probably tell, Alec and I recorded that episode on Sunday. Chargers versus Chiefs was Sunday night. Bright lights, prime time. We're going to be breaking it down when we check out what is cooking in each of the 4 categories, starting off with sports.
What's cooking in sports?
As always, we talk about the Hawks first. Iowa football. We snuck past the Minnesota Golden Gophers this week. As we like to do, we'll keep it close, we'll keep it low scoring, and we'll squeak out a win against Minnesota. Got to keep Floyd home 8 years in a row. I think Floyd prefers Iowa. He's made a nice little home, a little tradition of staying around Iowa City. He's not really familiar with Minnesota, so that just tells you that Iowa dominates Minnesota, as always, and you love to see it. This one was a strange game. It started off with a bang. We had a little tight end screen middle to Sam Laporta for about a 57-yard gain or something like that. And then we stalled in the red zone, kicked a field goal, ended up hitting some nice passes to the tight ends all throughout this game. Unfortunately, Laporta goes down with an injury. Not sure about his status going forward. It sounds like he might miss a Nebraska game this week. Hopefully not. We would love to have him, but we'll have to monitor that. Hawks having a close game with Minnesota. Their running back, Ibrahim, was absolutely just running all over us, man. He's one of the best backs in the Big Ten, and you can see why. He also does have a very good offensive line that helps quite a bit, but if you're able to do that much damage against the Iowa defense, you know you're for real. So shout out to him. He tried his best, but in the end, it was the Hawks, man. We were forcing fumbles. We were getting interceptions. Jack Campbell was roaming around doing everything that we love to see. Unfortunately, his pick six that he was weaving in and out of guys got called back. Questionable call at best. We'll set that aside for now. Hawks still got the win, kicked the field goal late in the game, and hey, who would have thought, man? Look at us, huh? Look at us. Who would have thought? Not me. Hawks are a win away from going to Indy. We are about to be, assuming we can beat Nebraska, which is no guarantee, we will be marching on down to Indianapolis to play in the Big Ten Championship for the second year in a row, somehow, with Spencer Petras at quarterback. I do not know how that happens. I do not know how that is possible. I think this is somewhat of a fluke. I think this is going to skew his legacy positively when, in fact, he is not really comparable to the quarterbacks we've had in the past, in my opinion. But hey, I mean, we'll take it. We'll love to see it. The Chargers, however, as Alec and I were discussing, we like to have our close games with the Chiefs. We like to make it dramatic and have it end with a bang, so to speak. That's what we did, man. Chargers were out to an early lead. We had a nice touchdown to Josh Palmer early on. Led all the first half, pretty much. Led in the second half quite a bit. And then, you know what happens, guys. The Chargers at halftime aren't able to adjust, and the Chiefs are great at adjusting at halftime, and they're going to go figure out their offense, and they're going to find Travis Kelce 75 times, it felt like, and score touchdowns repeatedly. And the Chargers, even though we took the lead with about a minute and a half to go, that's way too much time to give the Chiefs. They marched right down there, the length of the field on our defense like it was nothing, like it was a Tuesday practice. They scored a touchdown. Chargers get the ball back. Could not do what the Chiefs did. We end up, I think Herbert threw a ball that got tipped and ended up getting intercepted. And I shut off my TV at that point out of frustration. And that's usually the way these series go. So the Chiefs have our number, and they know how to beat us. And we are confused and injured and underperforming our potential. Welcome to Charger Land. In the NBA, Giannis Antetokounmpo had a tough night. His stats from the free throw line were something along the lines of 4 out of 15, which is very shockingly bad. He wanted to stick around after the game and shoot free throws in practice, so he grabbed a ball and went to a basket and started practicing. There's these two workers that thought that it would be the perfect time to bring out a ladder to the hoop and start setting up and doing some sort of work next to the hoop when Giannis was trying to practice. Not sure if that was the home workers trying to frustrate Giannis, get in his head, kind of not be very welcoming of him, or if that's actually the usual process they go through after the game. Could be either one. I don't really know. But they were pretty stubborn with their placement of this ladder. They put it right under the hoop, and they would not let Giannis practice his free throws. Giannis comes over and shoves the ladder onto the ground. He was so pissed, man. He was trying to practice free throws. There's videos that fans took of Giannis just missing repeatedly free throws during the game and after the game. And then at a certain point, you have Montrezl Harrell, who I'm very much not a fan of due to some past conflicts with the Mavericks. He comes over and rebounds the ball for Giannis. Immediately after Giannis shoots the free throw, he just takes the ball and walks away. He's in on it too. He doesn't want Giannis getting that extra practice. It's a really strange situation. I haven't really seen anything like it in quite some time. And you don't really see Giannis showing the frustration and the anger off the court like that. So I don't really know how to take that in. I don't think he sees any disciplinary action for that. It was just kind of a little scuffle afterwards. And Giannis will have to get back in the gym, back in Milwaukee, practice those free throws. Giannis, I got some advice for you, buddy. I was watching your free throw routine. You don't bend your knees very much, my man. It looks like at the point of release and shortly before the point of release, your legs are fully extended, standing up tall. My man, you gotta be down a little lower. Bend those knees, man. Get the power from the shot comes from the legs, all right? So don't be fully extended that much. You gotta get low, even though you're 7 foot or whatever, my man. I'm just talking to you as a state champion shooter, and I want to give you my advice. So, Giannis, if you happen to be listening, hit me up sometime. We can get in the gym and practice. Team USA for soccer played against Wales in the World Cup, and I was watching this game at work. I had it on one of my screens. Had to support the boys, of course. We had a nice through ball up the middle and a little flick past the keeper in the first half to take a 1-0 lead. USA, man, that's so exciting when we score in the World Cup. It's so exciting to even be back in the World Cup after missing the qualifying, I believe, the last time around. So we take the 1-0 lead into half. We're feeling good. Second half comes around. Wales gets the ball on our end, and we end up fouling one of their guys in the box. I believe it was Gareth Bale. I don't know if he's the one that actually got fouled, but he took the PK. Actually, I think that's how it works. If you are the one that gets fouled, you have to take the PK. I'll have to double check that, but some of you soccer fans out there are shaking your head right now. It was Bale that took the PK. I'm not sure if he's the one that got fouled. Bale takes the PK and scores. It was a pretty well-struck ball, top right of the net. Not much the keeper can do. 1-1. And that's how it ends in regulation. Apparently they don't do extra time in group play. We don't do a PK shootout or anything. You just take the tie, you get your 1 point, and you move on. So always great to see Team USA Soccer World Cup back in action. I'm going to be keeping up with the boys, and hopefully we can continue to score some goals and get some wins and advance as far as we can.
What's cooking in finance?
Last couple weeks, S&P 500 is slowly rising. Don't look now, but we are on the move. We're reaching the end of the year. It's typically a good time for the market. Late November, early December, a lot of Christmas shopping going on, a lot of purchasing in the markets, and the United States always near the top of spending, I would assume, for holiday time. You look back at the past couple of years, I'm sure you'll see some usual trend upward late November, early December into the new year. Some of that's just optimism, some of that's holiday shopping, but looks like we're keeping up those trends because in the last month, S&P 500 is up 5.5%. In the last week, we are up 0.8%. So who knows if this is going to be sustainable? We could come crashing back down as we usually do. At least in 2022, that's been the trend. But I'm liking what I'm seeing recently. Except Tesla. Guys, Tesla just reached a 2-year low. Really, guys? This is the lowest the stock has been since November of 2020. Back in the 2020 election. That's pretty crazy. So if you're bullish on Tesla, you're looking for a time to get in. I would recommend observing the stock price right now. Do your own analysis, do your own research. Now is an opportunity if you like what Tesla seems to be doing. I think that Elon being so occupied with Twitter might hurt the short-term price of Tesla. People think that he might not be as committed anymore because he has so much to work with on the Twitter end of things. I'm sure he's going to be able to manage his time correctly. He's gotten to where he is for a reason, and Elon is a very smart guy. He'll figure it out. Obviously, a lot of changes coming to Twitter and a lot of things he needs to work on, but Tesla has been a well-oiled machine the past 5 or 10 years as far as a stock. So I think long-term, you'll be fine. Short-term, I see this as an opportunity, not financial advice. Let's get our weekly FTX updates after the tragic crash that has previously taken place. We just had a presentation to the court in bankruptcy court where FTX's lawyer, James Bromley of Civilian and Cromwell, noted the extraordinary circumstances that are keeping the crypto exchange's new members and forensic investigators from identifying its assets. This guy is saying, substantial progress has been made, but we stand here today, Your Honor, with an absence of information. Imagine you're taking a test, you're taking a final, and it's an essay portion, and you get there and you say, Professor, I come to you today with an absence of information. I don't think that would fly in your classes, but that's what these guys are saying in court. Bromley told the judge, we do not have the traditional amount of information that a debtor would traditionally have, but every day we generate more and more. Bromley went on to slam Sam Bankman-Fried for operating FTX under a lack of corporate and accounting controls. Your Honor, what we have is a worldwide organization, but an organization that was run effectively as a personal fiefdom of Sam Bankman-Fried, he said. Now I know what you're thinking. What on earth is a fiefdom? I got you guys covered. I looked it up. Fiefdom, noun, in feudal Europe. The property owned by a lord. An area over which a person or organization exerts authority or influence. So when they say Sam Bankman-Fried is running FTX as his personal fiefdom, they're saying that he is basically the lord, the overlord, and this is his property, and he has grand authority over it. So it sounds like other people did not have the ability to kind of contribute or dispute some of the ideas. It sounds like Sam had total control, and it came crashing down. So going forward, you got to keep an eye out for activity like this. I know that it's really tough to see it coming, but do your research, man. You got to dig deep. You got to find out what people you're working with, because if you don't, it can really blow up in your face.
What's cooking in technology?
Just 158 seconds into Sunday's opening World Cup match in Qatar, referee Daniel Orsato relied on soccer's new semi-automated offside technology to nullify what otherwise would have been the fastest World Cup goal ever. Neither the full speed nor slow motion replay of Ecuador's early goal against Qatar seemed to show this offsides infraction, but the digital reconstruction provided by the semi-automatic offsides technology, complete with cheesy, abstract graphics, derived from the system's 12 tracking overhead cameras in the stadium, the 29 data points, aka body parts, on each player, and a microchip in the ball, did freeze the lower part of an Ecuadorian leg in the offsides position. Man, that was a sentence right there. These guys got sensors everywhere. They got cameras. They got chips in the ball. They got data points on your body parts, man. They caught these guys in 4K. So you're not getting away with that, boys. They got the technology to find out when you're offsides, and they're going to use it. It might not have seemed very obvious to the naked eye, but you look back at the sensors, you look back at the technology, you can tell the guy was partially offsides. So what's your guys' opinion on this? What's your guys' opinion on some of the advanced technology coming to officiate sports? Should we base it off of the naked eye? Should we base it off of close enough? Or do we want to get accuracy down to the microscopic degree? It's an area of concern. It's an area of debate right now. Some soccer fans are kind of torn on this issue. And it's a potential for much more advanced refereeing in the future with all this technology, but you got to be able to make a decision. Do we want things to be that precise, or are we going to continue with the current trend of relying on human judgment? So I tend to side with technology. I think technology is able to identify things better than humans, obviously, and it's more consistent and less biased, but there's concerns for both sides, definitely.
What's cooking in video games?
The return of EA Sports college football video game series now has a time of arrival, the summer of 2024. Daryl Holt, EA Sports Vice President and General Manager, told ESPN in an interview the brand is going to launch EA Sports college football at that time because of the enormous undertaking of creating the game from scratch. For them, it's not about rushing to market, but instead making sure the inaugural edition of what they plan to have as a yearly title is up to standard. That's the best date for us to bring the game that we think is going to meet or exceed our player expectations, Holt said, and cover the breadth and scale of what we want in the game. We're trying to build a very immersive college football experience. In honor of EA Sports being involved, I have to do my impression of the opening thing.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Not bad, right? I mean, it's not perfect, but better than most, I would say. I got to keep working on it, though. But anyways, college football video game series, obviously, some of you guys know, used to be a huge thing, used to be a wild success. They stopped after making NCAA 14 due to the name, image, and likeness disputes that have been going on. It used to be just like QB number 15 instead of actually saying like Tim Tebow. It would be pretty much the exact replica of that player, just not using their name. And people didn't like that, and they shut it down. But now, guess what? NIL is a thing. And players are getting more rights, and they're having more freedoms. And now we're able to bring the video game back. And NIL is going to be very important in the creation of this video game. We want to know how players are going to be able to give consent to their image and likeness or make money off of it. So there's a lot of moving parts here, but sounds like
EA Sports
is working on getting this going, summer of 2024. My one hope that I am praying that they do is do not, whatever you do not use the engine, the code, the current Madden system that is in place for Madden video games. I want this to be from scratch, brand new, different in every way than Madden. You guys know how I feel about Madden. I'm not going to get into it again. It needs to be a separate entity. It needs to be something different. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. We had the GOAT, A-Mob, on the podcast, Alec Mobley, big Chiefs fan, junior Cougar basketball legend, and great friend of mine. We're so thankful that he was willing to join us, and we're always thankful for any guest that would like to join us. If you ever want to come on the pod, hit me up. What's_cooking on Instagram, What's_cooking on Twitter, Facebook page, YouTube channel, Linktree in the bio. You guys know the drill. Next Wednesday, we will be back. Who knows if we have a guest or not? You'll just have to wait and find out. Thank you all for listening. Have a good one.
See ya.